What is up? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super discussion video. Today, I am here with the distinguished, beautiful human being known as Mark from Real to Real. What's going on, man?
What's up, D-free? Thanks for having me back. Always good to be here, man.
It is always good to be on D-free's Playhouse. Oh,
That's
wrong
Amber.
channel. Anyways, guys, people probably didn't get the reference. Some people. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and talk about the upcoming Tournament of Power yet again, but we're going to give a different kind of twist to it today. We're going to go ahead and throw a curveball at you. None of this is confirmed, just us talking, basically. But we're going to go ahead and ask, is Universe 6 being positioned to win? Can they actually win the Tournament of Power above Universe 11, Universe 7, everybody else? And my friend Mark here has a couple of really interesting ideas. So, Mark, you want to go ahead and jump in?
Yeah, totally. So, one of the things that Dragon Ball Super has been doing, and I think to great success recently with all of its episodes, is not only is Goku basically building his team for Universe 7, but also they've been cutting rather, kind of strangely back to Universe 6 more often than any other universe. I mean, obviously we've seen bits and pieces from Universe 10, Universe 11, Universe 2, and then all the gods and everyone talking about this, that, or the other. But you got to imagine that with how they've been focusing on this particular tournament, why are they focusing on Universe 6 so much? I mean, Cabba, we recently just saw Frost and Hit back into action. They obviously have been training other Saiyans for this stuff. They have a formidable team. Even in the very last episode of Dragon Ball Super, which would have been episode 91, the Zenos were talking like who's going to win, and Present Zeno was like, yeah, Goku's going to win. Universe 7's going to win because they're awesome, they're really strong and everything. And then he's like, yeah, that's possible. But Grand Priest came out and was like, yeah, but Universe 6 is a formidable team. They're really good. And then also, Universe 11 is good and Universe 2, yada, yada, yada. But I'm just wondering, like, why are they giving so much preference to Universe 6 going into this tournament? And we already know that they have some really strong people who've only gotten stronger since we saw them fight last time. And at the same time, there's this idea that it would be kind of a nice little foil or kind of playing off of the events of the last tournament, which was just Universe 6 and Universe 7, where Universe 7 won by default. It would be kind of fun for them to basically play that again, where even though we can have a great fight between Goku and Jiren or something like that, because the rules are actually just that whoever has the most people left on the field at the end of the tournament, at the end of the 48 minutes, actually wins. So if Universe 6 actually wins by default, I think that that would be pretty cool, considering the fact that, in the last tournament, one thing they did was Beerus used the wish to wish for the Super Dragon Balls to actually be back, or the Earth of Universe 6 to actually be back. So even if Zeno did blow up all the other universes, they would have a place to go, just like they had a place to go in the last, and it wasn't necessarily the biggest deal. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that they would play off previous story arcs that would make that interesting, I think.
Yeah, definitely. That makes a lot of sense because one cool thing about Universe 6 is they're a universe that we're actually already accustomed to, right? We know their characters. We may not know them in great detail, which kind of bothers me, which we may later on, but we know their characters, right? And we know that they are getting some new characters because Champa expressly requested Saiyans, and they seem to be getting Super Saiyans, and that's pretty cool. And like you said, they did cut back to Universe 6 several times. It kind of like, I kind of teeter in between the thought that maybe they're just doing that to kind of lend credence to those universes in advance because maybe they won't have a chance to kind of shine the light on them so much in the Tournament of Power. I don't really know, man. Do you think that's a possibility?
I definitely think that's a possibility. I mean, the one thing that Dragon Ball Super could really fall into, and I'm really hoping it doesn't, is building up a situation like it's just going to be Universe 7 versus Universe 11. Like, that's the entire fight. Then what's with all these other people having to fight at the exact same time? I mean, that was the last tournament, really. You're just kind of adding a lot more people who are just going to be taken off immediately and not really focus on, we're not going to get names for everyone. I mean, we've only met one other person, or one person in Universe 2. So, and she might be relevant for, like, one fight. And then obviously you got Universe 9, who is not going to be relevant at all. And Herms even said that the fighter, I think the lead fighter of Universe 10's name is like something like Perpetual Loser or something. It's like a pun. So but they're not going to have a chance. The only thing that's funny about them is Goasu. So
Mr. GodTube, bro. You can't hate on GodTube or KamiTube. You can't hate on it. I mean, that guy is like the top KamiTuber, like world renowned Gowasu. Ladies and gentlemen, Gowasu. Round of applause.
But I'm just saying, like, yeah, like they could definitely take out Universe 6, or they could be building up Universe 6 just to take them out, because for the most part, with all the other people that we know in this tournament, they're the ones we have the most connection to, and they could easily take those people out to build up a lot of other these characters from other universes. That would be kind of a smart move. I just don't necessarily see them doing it, because Super has a way, even when they're going to expand it this big, Super in Dragon Ball in general has always had a way to minimize every single fight and everything that comes into it. So this fight is going to ultimately become Universe 11 versus Universe 7, and that's what everyone's expecting. But at the same time, Toriyama and all the creative team at Toei just have a really good way of just kind of putting us all off our expectation of what's actually going to happen. So even if someone gets if Cabba gets buried under the rubble somewhere and everything, and then he just ends up being one of two people left in the entire tournament, him and Caulifla, him and Kale, or Frost or someone, they're going to find a way to actually, I guess, win.
Win by default.
Yeah, like they did last time, like Universe 7 did last time.
Yeah, that would be a cool little contrast, to what would be the popular idea at that point, because it's we just got out of this death match between Goku and Jiren or whoever, right? And Topo and Gohan and Vegeta, whatever we're gonna look at as far as the potential last round, and they both knock each other out of the ring, and then just the rubble moves over and the god Yamcha is down there, and Cabba is down there, something like that, and it's oh well, you win by default. And one cool thing about Universe 6 winning is that it kind of can play into the idea that previously in the previous tournament, Beerus, wished for that universe to have an Earth back. So what better way for Champa to kind of repay the favor, right? If they win, they get the Dragon Balls. What better way for him to repay the favor and do something for Beerus? Not necessarily saying hey, stop the universe from being destroyed, because I don't really like the idea that whoever wins is just going to wish for the universe to not be destroyed, because that's a direct undermine of what's happening there. I don't really like that idea. But just something in general. What about that as a potential outcome?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. First of all, I mean, it depends on what they do. They've already proven, or Zeno or something, they have these mortal levels. They've proven the fact that these particular universes, 1, 12, 5, and 8, do really well at corralling their mortals, and they fish things through, or they know how to do this stuff. I mean, they could use the wish. I don't necessarily see a difference between there's just too much space here. Maybe that's why he's destroying the universes. It's just too much space. He doesn't.
I think he's too concerned about having to regulate so much stuff.
But that's the thing. There's too many people not doing their jobs, but these people do their jobs well. What if you can take the Super Dragon Balls, and Champa's you know what? Just take everyone who's going to die and put them in other universe, the 5 other universes that are going to be existing, Universe 6. Universe, whatever, all that stuff. And that way no one actually dies, but the universes still blow up. And then even though Zeno wouldn't have to regulate just as much, and the people who do a good job just have to kind of pick up the pace a little bit. And I think that would lead to some really kind of cool situations, especially when you have Beerus and Champa in the same universe. Especially
that would be dope.
Yeah, you have
Beerus and Champa in one universe.
And if that were to happen too, you wouldn't have Beerus basically be the god of destruction, or maybe they would be pulling double duty, and how they interact in that situation. There's just a lot of potential for further interactions if something like that were to happen. But I agree, I really don't want them to basically go, Zeno, all that stuff you wanted to do, how about not?
How about no?
Yeah, well, then what was the point? What was the point of even the title of the arc? What was all this drama for? So I want them to go through with that. And Universe 6, like you said, is just one of those universes where it doesn't, in the last tournament, it doesn't necessarily affect our main cast or main core characters at all.
Yeah.
So
There was actually zero consequence in that tournament. And that's one of the things that I really hated around the time that was airing. It's just like, at first people were like, oh, there is, even though they're going to lose Earth. It's like, so? And then what really like headlines that thought process is that freaking Goku says the same thing. He himself says, so what if we lose? It doesn't matter. We're just going to move Earth. We're all going to still be alive.
Yeah.
They didn't, like, they could have at least said, hey, there's going to be some sort of chemical imbalance or, something cosmic just totally just erupts the whole universe or something to add tension. But there wasn't.
Yeah.
And this one, I feel like, the contrast between the two tournaments is like the last one had no tension and this one probably has a little too much. It's like, this one's like incredibly just the thought process is like, well, there's only going to be one winner, but all you other universes are just all your mortals, your billions and trillions or whatever it is, life forms you have are all dead.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like it's too much. And at the same time, it's so much that's basically for, I think, a majority of the fan base, it's unbelievable. And when you think of, well, okay, so we only have a couple options here, right? We have Universe 11 winning or another universe winning, and then most likely at that point someone's going to be like, use the Dragon Balls to basically nullify all the tension that was built up throughout the arc. You have Universe 7 winning, and then you basically have to do the exact same thing because Goku can't seem like the villain, and if they win, he still seems like the villain, and like at least to everyone who's going to die. and if Universe 6 wins, and I feel like this is the best thing, like, not only can you can nullify everything, but you can still go along with like actually blowing up a lot of universes and not affecting the core main cast of characters, because the twin universe concept, because the twin Earth that was brought back earlier in the series, and it'd be a nice way to kind of weave together a lot of these story arcs that have basically been, for the most part, very separate of each other. They don't necessarily jump from one to another, but if you look at it like Battle of Gods, the Champa arc, and then the Universe Survival arc really do kind of play off of each other a lot.
They do. The themes of them are very similar too. So, I completely agree with you. It would be a really cool, like I said, just contrast to what we're expecting and what we're kind of used to in Dragon Ball if an offhand universe, Universe 7, one that we don't spend a whole lot of time with, does come back and, play a significant role in this Tournament of Power. And I think that personally, as far as that goes, that would be really good development, for a character like Cabba or a character like Frost, who, if you've seen in the previous episode or so, he's in this position where he needs redemption, He's in a position where he's lacking something like that, and he kind of says himself, well, this is my best chance to get that. So, and a character like Cabba, who's going to bring peace to his universe, I don't think characters like Hit too much care, maybe Batama, Magetta, if those guys are there, I don't think they care too much about that. They just probably care more about not getting destroyed. But those kind of characters, I can really see a payoff in a big way for them. But not to mention that, the same thing kind of applies to Goku, because Goku's not really going to too much care. I mean, he's gonna get what he wants either way. He just wants to fight, and Gohan could have a good emotional payoff. I don't see a lot of characters that we're accustomed to kind of just taking the mantle of that, where it's just like, oh, this is really good development for this character,
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree.
Yeah, so I don't know. We're going to turn it over to you guys in the comment section down below. Do you guys think that Universe 6 has any shot at winning this? And even if you don't think they have a chance, would you like it, right? Because that's more or less what it comes down to, because in all honesty, we don't know what's going to happen, but it's very unlikely that Universe 6 wins. I mean,
yeah.
Goku versus Jiren has been marketed. It's probably what it's going to come down to, unless somebody else jumps in there. Whatever happens, we don't know. That's the point. But would you guys like that as a concept? So anyways, if you guys are not already subscribed to Mark, a.k.a. Real to Real, a.k.a. The Godfather, go ahead and subscribe to him. The link is in the description. And, you guys will enjoy his content over there. So any closing words, bro, before we get out of here?
No, I'm good. I've spoken everything I wanted to say, but thanks for having me, man.
No problem. All right, guys. Take care.